Hi, guys. It's me, your Sherelle Johnson, lifestyle health coach and consultant, registered nurse for over 33 years, known as the Uncommon Flexitarian, and the creator of Eat What. Eat What is my weekly program that gives you resourceful information and education as to the many USDA and FDA food safety and health concerns. Now, I just don't wish to alarm you, but I also wish to give you solutions, concrete solutions to fuel your immunity, to fuel your overall health, so that you can look good, feel good, and have a more positive outlook on life. Welcome to another edition of Eat What. Now, if you are a member of Eat What, we just like to remind you that you never have to miss an episode, because if you go to the members area in our private Facebook group, you can just tap on the media tab and you will see every video that we have ever created, or tap on the file tab and see every article, every recipe, every enhancement through a literary work that we have ever presented. All right. So never have to be concerned about missing an edition of Eat What. And also, you may use these resources to educate and share with others. Invite others to join us at Eat What to help all look good, feel good, and have a more positive outlook on life. So invite others. And if you are watching for the first time, welcome. Come join us. Come join us. You may join by contacting a member, the member who invited you to this private Facebook group, or if you're seeing me on YouTube, you always contact me at betterlivingwithplants@gmail.com. Again, that's betterlivingwithplants@gmail.com. Or you may contact me at direct messenger at Beverly Sherelle Johnson. Beverly Sherelle Johnson via direct messenger. Again, if you know someone who is a member of this Eat What, of course, you may receive an invitation through them to join us. So please do, and enjoy every episode, everything that we're learning at Eat What. Now, today's program, Rewire and Refire Your Brain, is a topic that has interested scientists for many, many years. Rewiring and refiring your brain. Now, what does this mean for us? And what does this mean for our health? Well, let's just dive into this subject just a little bit. The rewiring of your brain speaks to the body's ability to be able to regenerate, to be able to heal itself. For many, many centuries, many centuries, the body has been studied, and it has been noted that the body does have properties in which to heal itself. Now, science has also noted that the brain in and of itself, our supercomputer within our heads, is able to rewire itself. Where there is damage, the brain has the capability to take the nerves from that damaged area and rewire them to other sections to give the body the same mobility, the same functionability as it had before. Or very, very close. Now, if you've ever heard of the terminology neuroplasticity, this is what this subject is focused on. This is what this subject is talking about. Neuroplasticity, the definition, it refers to the brain's ability to be able to restructure and rewire itself when it recognizes the need for adaptation. Now, that is just a wonder in itself. When the brain recognizes the need for adaptation, which means our brain is a living organism full of cells that are constantly monitoring and assessing what needs to be done so it can continue to thrive, not only survive, but thrive and be successful. The brain on its own can do this. And of course, eating healthy, eating the meals that we know will help our bodies grow and develop properly also enhance this within the brain. Now, again, there's a whole subject regarding neuroplasticity that can help you learn this subject more. So, if you're interested, be sure to contact perhaps your healthcare providers or any organization that's involved in the neurosciences that is in your area. All right. The neurosciences is an area that is vast vetted by those within the health community. And you should always, first of all, to have any resources about education, talk with your healthcare providers, your medical doctor, doctor of osteopathy, nurse practitioner, herbalist, all those who are concerned with your health. Now, they can direct you into resources, perhaps classes, perhaps even there at the medical center that can help you understand the neuroplasticity concept and how the brain is able to rewire and refire itself. Now, how can we do this on a day-to-day basis? Well, as we all know, our brain as well as our body is composed of billions and billions of cells. These cells age, they grow, they degenerate, and new cells come in its place. But there is a point in time within the life cycle that these cells do not regenerate on the scale or as quickly as they did when we were much younger. And this also goes along with the brain's function. As the brain gets older, and when the brain gets older, if you are not constantly exercising the brain cells, causing them to rewire and refire, so to speak, then what can happen is cognitive decline. And we have such diseases that want this, such as diseases of surrounding the area of dementia, where you have a shrinkage of the brain, where the brain, either through dehydration, through age, or through any other means, has not is smaller than what it was and is not able to function in the way that it was previously able to function. So cognitive decline can be stayed according to science. According to science, cognitive decline can be stayed. It can be prevented through the habitual and repeated methods of what we call rewire and refire. All righty. So what can you do to stimulate the brain? That's the big question of the hour. What can you do to stimulate the brain? Of course, there are many activities that you can do on a daily basis that will cause your brain to think and adapt and really assess different situations. Now, one thing that is detrimental to the brain, as it is to all parts of the body, is having a sedentary lifestyle where the brain is not stimulated. The brain is not stimulated to learn and to grow and to do more. And just like the other cells in the body, when there is no stimulation for growth, there is already the field there. There's already already there for it to decline. Decline decline can happen naturally, or it can happen more rapidly in the absence of growth. So you always want to keep your body moving. You always want to keep exercise going, blood circulation pumping, and of course, eating correctly, as your medical team will help you determine what is the best meal plans for you, what your strategy for maintaining a healthy lifestyle, what those strategies are for you. As you continue to do this, your brain can adapt, it can learn, it can grow, it can do a variety of things just like the other cells of the body, and it can regenerate itself. But there are some simple things. There are some simple things that we can do on a daily basis that will allow the brain to do this. Some of those simple things, like I said, is just keeping up basic activity, not living a sedentary lifestyle. We all work, We might work outside the home, we might work inside the home, but keeping the brain active is paramount to our cognitive health and our overall bodily health. Because if our brains are not healthy, then nothing else in our body will be able to function properly. All right? Okay then. Now, one thing that some of these things that you might be aware of, but I just want to give a short list in the time that we have here that will help you focus on what you continually stimulate your brain. The first item is to play video games. Video games. Wow. Now, in this era where video games are just all over the place, all over the place, all over on social media. There are many groups and organizations that are involved in the study of video games, plus the constant creation of video games. Video games you might think are a bit overrated, but video games are a wonderful way to engage the brain and engage hand and eye motor coordination and ability. All of this stimulates the brain to learn to adapt and just think. Those games, particularly where we have one opponent versus the other, and you have to think out strategies, and perhaps you're in a conflict type of game and you have to map out strategies against your opponent. All of that is encouraging the brain to adapt to what it did not know before. And as you learn these different strategies, as you learn these different concepts in the game on different levels, you increase, and the puzzles get more and more difficult. This also challenges the brain to do more. So always, if you're going to play video games, choose those video games that are going to cause brain stimulation. Those games that are going to cause you to more. And of course, there are some games, of course, that you might want to engage in that are just pure relaxation. But when it comes to firing up your brain and having your brain adapt and learn and rewire itself, you want to choose a game that is challenging. The brain loves to challenge. And the more challenges you provide for it, the better off your brain will do. And when it comes to rewiring and refiring, the basis of adaptation. Another concept that you might desire to do is to basically read. Reading opens up the mind. Reading opens the mind, and it causes the brain to do this thing called having an imagination. Oh yes, remember that? Imagination is within each and every one of us. Each and every one of us. And we need to exercise our imagination, which also stimulates our brains. Imagination is very, very powerful, where it gives the brain a picture of a future that has not yet happened, or perhaps is creating the imagery that you are reading within the book. All of this definitely stimulates the brain, as your brain is able to map out mental pictures of what is, or as you imagine through your reading what might have been. Reading is a window, as one popular public television station says, is the window to the world. All right, it's the window to the world, and it is a way that you can just leave your current circumstances, and through imagination and imagery, just go into another realm where you can relax, you can set challenges, you can do whatever you like using your imagination. Another point of interest is to constantly work puzzles. Now, just like the video games, work puzzles is very, very key to having your brain rewired and refired. Now, when I'm talking about puzzles, choose puzzles that are challenging but not frustrating. Challenging but not frustrating. If you're good at crosswords, fantastic. Pick the word puzzles that are challenging yet not frustrating. If you are a numbers person, the same thing, challenging, but not frustrating. And what you would like to do is provide the challenge for the brain. And again, here's hand and eye coordination, not so much using it as the video game does, but the constant thinking process allows the brain come up with solutions that it perhaps had not done so before. And something else that you can do. There are many clubs. There are many clubs and organizations that their whole focus is working on these puzzles, working on these games. So there's a lot to do out there. There's a lot to do out there, and a lot of people to connect with. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to incorporate puzzles and games, not only for relaxation time, but to stimulate your brain. Something else that you can do is to learn a new language. What better way to stimulate your brain than to learn a new language? Oh, that's so powerful. Language really helps the brain focus on something more, and it pulls the brain forward in adaptability by just the learning of different words. Now, of course, this is going to definitely help you in the area of travel, which is another way that the brain can be rewired and refired. Traveling, seeing new scenery, having different experiences helps the brain to master adaptation, and it also helps the brain to receive imagery and experiences that it had not seen before. There's more problem solving ability involved. When you travel, there's more problem solving ability involved as you're learning a new language. So don't hold yourself back. Get out there and experience the more that you can be through traveling and learning a new language. It's very, very important to keep the brain stimulated. And when it's coming to learning a new language, it's often easier to start out younger than it is older. But if you are older, don't worry. Have no worries about this, because you can still challenge your brain at any age to learn something new. And it is the challenges that you give your brain, whether it's learning a new language, seeing, even living in a different part of the same country, you are giving your brain a chance to grow and develop in ways that you never imagined possible. So learn a new language and travel. Learn a new language and travel. All righty. Now, what else can we do? You can be more creative in the arts, particularly the arts, particularly the music, and in artwork. If you're drawing, or if you're painting, whatever you can do to learn a new skill along the arts, that stimulates the brain. It stimulates the brain. You're learning new, you're learning differently. You are allowing manual dexterity, particularly if you're using your fingers, you're using your hands, you're using your hearing, you're using your eyesight. All of these things, all of these sections of the brain are being stimulated at the same time. And while doing so, you are creating not only experiences, but you are creating problem solving abilities that you perhaps didn't have before. And if you're one thing that I really love to challenge people on is, if you're great at one level, as the children say, level up. Not so much children anymore, but anyone who's involved on social media with a lot of these games, the term level up is being used so that you can increase knowledge, increase the dexterity in which you're learning, increase the depth of which you're learning, and this dexterity of what you're handling. And by doing so, you can rewire and refire your brain. All right. So these are some brief items, that things that you can do on a daily basis. Making music, creating art, knitting, sewing, being creative in the way that speaks best to you. If it's One person has actually told me that with they do their sculptures, and that is their creative outlet. And through the sculpture, they start out with a piece of metal, and through the sculpture, they're able to see what others cannot see. Oh, that's just fantastic. And if you're prone in this direction, whether it's wood, whether it's metal, whether it's a painting, whatever it is, the imagination and your ability to see as an artist, that's just, oh my, it's just fantastic. And what you're doing, like I said again, you're allowing the brain to grow and develop and mature in ways that just bring beauty to the world, and in ways for problem solving that you have not been aware of before. Now, maybe your artwork is whittling away on a piece of wood or a bar of soap. Oh, there's so many beautiful soap sculptures that are out there. All that takes creativity. All of that helps the brain rewire and refire itself. So never look down upon any activity that just stimulates the brain, that allows the brain to stretch and to grow, because you just never ever know what just might connect with an individual. Now, one another benefit, like I mentioned earlier, of all of these things that we're doing is that the fact you get more blood circulation to the brain. And by doing so, you're causing more nourishment to come into the bodily system and coming into the brain. And this is where how the brain is able to function. Of course, all of our cells need nutrition. All of our cells need nutrition, and of course, our brains, our supercomputers, need them as well. Needs the nutrition as well. So, going along with the rewiring and the refiring of our brains, going along with these activities that we want to incorporate into our daily routines, where we're continually challenging our brains, we want to eat right. Now, what is eating right for you? Eating right is eating the way that is best for your health. Now, I myself, I'm a flexitarian, which means I eat mostly vegetables. All right. I eat a great 80 to 90% of veg, incorporate some meat, some proteins in some meat proteins in my food fare on a daily basis. Now, that may not work for you, but whatever food fare your healthcare provider says is healthiest for you, to keep your fats and keep your fats low, and your carbs low, so that your body is in the best shape that has ever been, then that's what you follow. That is what you follow. Because one thing that we have to make sure is that our bodies are continually receiving the nutrients, and our brain are continually receiving nutrients that our body produces. Now, when we're eating, we have always talked about this. When we're eating, we have to eat the best of what is ever fresh, and trying to stay more and more away from processed foods. And of course, eating those items that are most beneficial. Again, talking with your healthcare provider, your medical doctor of osteopathy, nurse practitioner, herbalist, all those who are concerned with your health, can help you determine what food fare is best for you. And upon doing so, as you adhere to it on a daily basis, making sure that you're not incorporating anything that would harm your cells, such as eating the foods that are most detrimental to your health, alcohol, or anything else that is detrimental to your health, then you can ensure that your brain will be constantly fed the nutrients, and will be able to grow and develop and mature in the way that it was designed to function. All righty. All right. So I just want to put that out there, folks. Just want to put that out there. Always you want to incorporate the best of every discipline that you are involved in, and you want to apply it on a regular basis. Consistency is key, and your adherence to a plan that is beneficial for your health is paramount in on what you're going to do in order to stay here on earth a little while longer. All right, so we just want to go over really quickly again the items that we have discussed today regarding on how to refire and rewire your brain. These are not the suggestions I've made here are not the only suggestions that you can take. There are many, many other activities, many other things that you can do that can help you rewire and refire your brain. And you should be able to, with the backing of your healthcare team, you should be able to participate with them in a relaxing time, in an engaging time, in a time that your body will most benefit for your overall health. Now, one thing that when you're getting organized and doing this, a lot of times people say, well, I don't have time to fit in just one more thing. Well, if you are overloaded, then it's perhaps time you did a little subtraction in your life. Maybe you're doing too much at work. Maybe you're doing too much relaxing. Maybe you're doing too much of any other activity that is not stimulating your brain or causing more blood circulation or causing you to eat more correctly as your healthcare providers have planned for you. Whatever you're doing, when you're finding yourself in the overload, then start looking at what you can subtract that is not necessarily beneficial so that you can add the better. Okay, the good things that come to you will always be better than the things that left you if you give the good things that are coming to you a chance to get into your life, to give you a chance to enhance your living and enhance your overall health. So just remember that if you're finding that you're in a slight bit of overload, you might want to look at your schedule. You might want to look at the things that are going on in your life and start doing a little subtraction. All right, and start doing a little subtraction. Now, if you're on a food fair and a plan backed up by your healthcare providers that is producing positive results, then stick with that plan. Stick with their plan. Do not make any changes without first consulting your healthcare providers, your healthcare team, but let them know if there was other things you would like to introduce into your healthcare plan. And remember, there are no changes that just happen overnight. Over time, you have to have patience. You have to have the willingness to see results later, and you will as you are consistent. So just continue doing what you're being told. If you're having great results, if you're having even good results with your healthcare regime, the food fair to one that's more beneficial to you from something that was less beneficial, remember, the good things coming to you will be far better than the things that left you. Well, that's all I have time for today, folks. I just want to give you a brief overview of a few ways that you can rewire and refire your brain through everyday activities, through everyday work, through everyday enjoyment. Nothing has to be difficult. It's just your willingness to participate in the process. And as you participate in the process, you will begin to see results. As you participate consistently, I should say, you will begin to see results. Putting into it, you will see the results of it. For every seed, there is a harvest that follows. So be consistent in your sowing regarding the consistency of which you are adhering to your food fare, regarding the exercise program that you are involved in, regarding even the plan, your strategic plan for staying here on earth. All right. Stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. Continue as under the guidance of your healthcare team regarding food, solid foods, liquids, particularly your water, making sure that you're doing the best for your health. Again, that's all I have time for today, guys. If you have any other questions, if you have any further questions, you may contact me at direct message Beverly Sherelle Johnson, or via email at betterlivingwithplants@gmail.com. Until then, I'll see you guys next week on another edition of Eat What, where we'll tackle another subject of health. This week, it was ways to rewire and refire your brain. Next time, it'll be something even more interesting. We'll get to it. I hope you'll join me then. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.